while I was teaching, there's this lady who told me there's a Indian Bollywood night happening. Why don't you bring all your stuff and sell it there? So I took all my stuff and I go there. That's where I met Mr. Shah, who's the CEO of TV Asia, Mr. HR Shah. And he spots me at the stall and he just randomly walks up to me and he goes, "Sell me a kurta." So I'm like, "To you?" So he goes, "Just pretend I'm your customer and sell me a kurta." So I do what I do. And he says, "This is the number of my editor. Get in touch with him. You're coming for a screen test tomorrow to the TV Asia studios." And he goes, "ये क्या कुर्ते बेच रहे हो? Come be a face on TV Asia."
Ever imagine being your own boss or starting a side hustle, but life got in the way? Whether it's education loans, visa restrictions, family commitments, uncle auntie ka pressure, or the fear of failure, I've been there too, and maybe you have too. I'm Jai Desai, a partner, an immigrant, and most recently a papa with deep family ties in India. Welcome to the Hustlers podcast, where I sit down with immigrant, Desi entrepreneurs and unpack their journeys, the tough bits, and the secret sauce to their success in today's crazy world. Ready to find the courage to chase your dreams? Or just learn about interesting businesses Desi immigrants start? Subscribe now and share with your friends who need a dose of inspiration. Now let's get started. My guest today is Svasti Rao, also known as the Kurta Lady. Swasti has a small business based out of New Jersey for the last 5 years. But that's not where she started. Her journey started 20 years ago when Swasti, who studied journalism, moved to US after getting married, but soon found herself stuck in this country like thousands of other dependents, unable to work due to her visa. Imagine coming from a bustling Mumbai city to a cold and dead neighborhood of Detroit, where you have no friends or family. Her mental health started taking a toll, so she got out and found herself an unpaid internship. Things were looking up for a year, and the company she interned at wanted to offer her a job, but she couldn't take it up because of her dependent visa. So she had to quit and found herself back where she started, stuck in this big country in a cold city for another 2 years. This time she couldn't take it and she was ready to move back to India when a friend suggested trying Canada where she could work. So they packed their bags and moved across the border to a small town called Windsor. But there were not many job opportunities in this small town, so she started studying to become an early childhood education teacher, while working a sales job selling appliances in a store to support her education. Now imagine you are a Desi introvert and are now doing a 100% commission-based sales job in a white-dominated small town in Canada. It was tough, but it was important to support her education, become a teacher, and also contribute to household income. Finally, after her education, she was able to find a full-time job at a Montessori and also had her first child. Quite a hustle already. She was feeling settled in, but this didn't last too long as well. Her husband had found a good opportunity in New Jersey post his MBA, and they moved again. Fortunately, she could now work in USA because of Obama administration's program to allow spouses to work on dependent visa. Let's hear more from her on how she started Kurta Lady while managing two kids, a teaching job in a new place. Hello, Swasti. Welcome to the Hustlers podcast. Thank you for being my guest today. Can you please introduce yourself to our audience?
Hi, Jay. Thanks for having me. My name is Svasti, and I own a New Jersey based small business called the Kurta Lady. And I've been doing this for the last 4 or 5 years now.
So, when and how did you start?
Basically, what happened was in between when I was working for the school, I had also started my Kurta Lady business on a side hustle. It was a very small collection and it was mostly for all my friends and the neighborhood ladies. It was just a small Facebook page, but it was going well for me in the sense the smaller collections would sell out. I would get something again. And so I was doing it as a side hustle while I was teaching. And while I was teaching, there was this lady who told me, "Hey, there's a Indian Bollywood night happening. Why don't you bring all your stuff and sell it there?" So I took all my stuff and I go there. That's where I met Mr. Shah, who's the CEO of TV Asia, Mr. HR Shah. And
Mhm.
he spots me at the stall and he just randomly walks up to me and he goes, "Sell me a kurta." So I'm like, "To you?" So he goes, "Just pretend I'm your customer and sell me a kurta." So I do what I do. And he says, "This is the number of my editor. Get in touch with him. You're coming for a screen test tomorrow to the TV Asia studios." So this was back in early 2019 when I had just started this business. And he goes, "Ye kya kurte bech rahe ho? Come be a face on TV Asia." So I never quit Kurta Lady, although I started TV Asia again as a side gig because it was more like reporting when they needed a reporter to go report for an event or anchor a show in
Oh,
front
so
of
now,
somebody.
just to be clear, now you are doing three jobs,
Correct,
right?
correct.
You're selling
Yeah, I was
kurtas.
selling
Awesome.
kurtas. I was doing this.
And managing two
Yeah,
kids.
yeah, and managing two kids. It was not a lot on me only because I had tailored my time in such a way that I would only work 5 hours at the school. And this
Okay.
TV Asia gig was more like once or twice a week where they had to have me go out and report and stuff like that or come out to their studios. So it was a well balanced schedule. And the rest of my time I was devoting to Kurta Lady and the kids. But then COVID
Okay.
happened and the school stopped. TV Asia also briefly stopped. And that's when I got my complete energies into Kurta Lady because I had nothing else going on at that time for me. So
Right.
I think 2020 was a game changer for
So,
me.
how did you focus on kurtas? And by the way, Kurta Lady is a very interesting name and brand. I don't know how you came up with that. Maybe you can share that as well. But how did you niche down on kurtas?
So basically, I had to find kurtas for myself. So I'm one of those who doesn't wear something very loud, and neither am I very toned down. I like something in between. And in New Jersey, I just couldn't find what I liked, which was classy, simple kurtas in New Jersey and online. Because here in New Jersey,
Hmm.
you get a lot of opportunities to go to Indian events, and I had to go to a few, and I didn't have clothes. Mom body, I had changed
Hmm.
a lot, so I didn't have anything that fit me. So that's where the whole idea stemmed from, that why can't I find something affordable, something nice here for myself? And so that's where this all began.
You said now you are focusing full time on Kurta Lady.
Mhm.
So what did you change when you say focusing full time?
In 2020 March, when everything shut down, I had this small collection sitting in front of me, and I'm like, okay, I have 8 or 10 designs max. And if I'm a lady and I'm trying to browse a store or a website, would I be happy just looking at 8, 10 designs? As a woman, I like to see more colors, more designs, a wider variety. And I myself found that no, this is not going to work.
Hmm.
Just having just so much. So I wanted to expand my product line. I wanted to bring in more styles and designs. And so I started my research on how can I do this. I wanted to still keep that affordable price point because I'm a conscious shopper myself. I don't spend unnecessarily. So my price point has always been the $20 $25 product line kurtas, where once you buy it, they're good for the next 2 3 years. The quality should be good. I wash and wear them multiple times. At $20 $25, even if I buy 4 5 kurtas, I've
Right.
spent $100. I'm not feeling very bad about it. I'm happy, and I want those customers to come back to me. And that's how I built my clientele. They come back to me every 3 4 months for new designs, a new collection. They'll again come buy 5 or 6 kurtas, spend $100 $120. They feel good about it, and they go back, and then they spread the word. So that was my whole motivation. I wanted to bring in this product line where it's affordable, it's trendy, it's something that's selling in India, because India is where everything's happening. That's where my styles
Hmm.
are being born. And that was another thing I noticed, Jay. Over here they were selling outdated stuff, as in kurtas or styles that worked maybe 3 years ago. And I'm like, why am I
Okay.
buying outdated designs here? I want to buy the latest. That's what Indian women are
Hmm.
wearing. I want to wear it here. So why wait to go to India and shop, right? I wanted the women to be able to shop here for the same price or maybe few dollars more, but give them the satisfaction of wearing the same kind of quality, same kind of designs.
Okay.
That's where the research started, and that's how it all began in 2020. I spent a lot of time figuring out what is it that will work for me in terms of quality, styles, prices. the trends, and that's where I started investing my time and effort. And in the next few months, it was more like identifying vendors, identifying these small business owners who were willing to work with me or come up with designs for me or work with designs for me. So things like that was the year for me, 2020.
Now you're working on establishing the business, you're figuring out you need to add more variety, more collection, and things like that.
Mhm.
So then, how did you go about sourcing?
So sourcing was a huge challenge for me because one is, will they do what you expect them to do in terms of quality and design, and also keeping it at that cost point that I wanted the finished product to come at. So those were a few challenges, but I was able to identify a few small businesses in Bombay and Delhi. So these are women-owned small
Okay.
businesses, Jay. The one lady I work with, between her and I, we designed the everyday wear collection. And she has
Okay.
a small scale, like a factory, you could call it, in Bombay. And she pretty much does the back end work for me. So once the design process is done, once we've identified what fabric and stuff, she gets them stitched for me.
One other thing was, how did you find your clientele initially, right? When you were testing out this
Mhm.
idea, where did you go and sell?
So initially it was word of mouth. I just my own friends, their friend circle. I had these incentives, get a friend along and both of you get X dollars off or whatever. So that's how I started. And also I did a few go out there and put stalls, these small melas and community events and stuff like that. So people would know that I'm out here. But it was very small. Like I said, it was, I could count the number of customers I had at that time. And then I started the Facebook page, which helped get in some audiences from local
Okay.
NJ, New York area. Yeah, it was very small. And those are the folks who have stayed with me. Those are my core customers, some 50, 60 of them. So it was a very
Okay.
small circle. But thanks to them and their own network, I was able to expand.
So you are sourcing from India because you mentioned India is where everything is happening. So how is that working for you? How are you able to find people, coordinate, and stuff?
So a few trips to India helped with that, Jay. I had to go make trips in to India, meet some of these vendors I work with. A few of them are in Surat in Gujarat, and some in Bombay, some in Delhi. So I went and established that connection with them. Once I had identified them, I spoke with them, of course, online, and then I went and met them in person, saw their setup, the way they operate, etc. And I have done small batches with all of them before I order anything big. And that's how it's been going for now.
Clothes is something where sizing
Mhm.
really matters, right?
Mhm.
How did you figure that out?
Sizing is a huge challenge. And with the everyday wear collection, we solve that problem because we manufacture it on our own. From small to say double XL, those are our typical sizes. The size chart is given and the kurtas are made to measure. So if you measure yourself, you look at the size chart, you can never go wrong. Based on sizes, I very rarely get returns.
So did you go through the process of, are you have you now registered your business and stuff?
Yeah, yeah, I'm a
Uh,
registered LLC in the state of New Jersey. And I have the US patent for the Kurta Lady as well. So the USPTO process was done and I did it myself. And I'm very proud of that because people asked me to go get a lawyer. And then I saw the lawyer fees to get a patent done. I was like, no way I'm paying a lawyer that much money.
and so lot of factors, right? COVID and stuff. Was that moment where you realized this is something that I want to pursue?
I was actually enjoying my time in TV Asia. Once the COVID thing settled, we continued our work with TV Asia in the sense I still would go to the studio, record my new show. I was managing their social media page and things were going good while Kurta Lady was also doing well on the side. But then between 21 summer to the end of 2021, things started
Hmm.
changing in terms Kurta Lady was growing and I was adding more selection, the customer base grew, the orders grew, and I was finding it hard, but I was still, as a full time content creator
Hmm.
myself on social media, doing Kurta Lady and managing TV Asia. It was getting challenging. And I think 2022 was the year when I was stretched to the max. I still did it because I was like, I can do it. I'm young. I can push myself.
Hmm.
And I did do it. And I think that was when, towards the end, it started affecting my health, Jay. And that's probably when I said, you know what, for my own good, I need to pick what I want to do. Because when the health started like taking a sharp
Hmm.
decline, as oh no, I've done this to myself, I actually burnt out, I would say that, because I had never experienced that before. And so that's when I
Hmm.
consciously made a decision to take care of myself and understand what is it that I want in terms of priorities. And once I had gotten that confidence that this is going to go right, my business that is, I wanted to take a leap of faith. And I said, you know what, if not now, when? So I would say 2022 was like that make or break year for me. And I had to quit TV Asia at that point.
I'm very curious about that decision where on one side it was TV Asia. I'm sure you're liking that gig. You
Right.
studied 20 years ago
Right.
for this. What was the most convincing factor? Was it like betting on yourself and having that independence, or was it money? Were you already making more money through Kurta Lady versus your job? What are some of the key things?
Actually, I was making more money working than I was with Kurta Lady.
Okay.
But at one point, I would say both of them were paying me enough, but I had to
Hmm.
make that decision. There were two things. One was health. The other was I wasn't able to spend time with my boys at all. Between the two jobs, I was being pushed and pulled so much. And also being a content creator, I barely had any time for forget myself, even for my kids. I had to, it was not money, it was more a decision for my mental sanity, my health, and what is it that I care about the most. For me, it was my boys, my family, my health. And then, of course, I have to do something with myself. So I knew Kurta Lady will do well if I give it my full time. I wasn't giving it my full time. So
Yeah.
that was it. That was the changing factor for me. It was like, I have to give it my full time. I have to see where this will go. I've given myself five
Nice. Okay.
years.
And
So this is year two of five.
you took that decision, but was there like a backup for you, or was there like a backup plan in case things didn't work out?
No,
Or
actually, I had no backup plan. The only backup plan was if it doesn't work out, I know that I at least I tried, because in my heart, I did not want to have that regret that I never gave it a full chance. But for that moment,
Hmm.
I was just being present at that moment and I took that decision in that moment. It was really hard though, because quitting TV Asia was not easy. So I would walk into an Indian grocery store and people would recognize me here in New Jersey because they're like, we've seen her somewhere.
Wow.
It's nice. You like that. And all of a sudden, it to quit all of that and walk away, it was not easy.
Nice. Okay. You were talking about content creation as well.
Mhm.
What was the point that you grew beyond your physical community, and how did that happen?
I think social media helped me a lot to propel me there. I was again a very shy content creator. I did very little. But when I got onto TV Asia and suddenly that confidence of being in front of the camera, being able to read a 30-minute newscast or go report, those kind of things just gave me that extra confidence that I probably needed. And that's when I think my social media appearance, and you will see if you notice or if you see my social media page, that I haven't changed or deleted or done anything. You'll see the growth,
Mhm.
you'll see how I started versus where I am today. And I'm really proud of that fact that I pushed myself and I came out of that zone where I was shy, timid, and not very confident to showcase my own products. So I think TV Asia gave me that confidence, and yeah, I think social
Yeah,
media
and
helped me grow
social
beyond my own community.
yeah, and social media is not kind, right? Always, and that's
True,
the tough part as
true.
well.
All of those
You have
struggles.
to put yourself out.
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
All right, Swasti. So you started growing your audience via social media, right?
Mhm.
Can you tell us the platforms you used to get started?
So initially it was all Facebook. I was afraid to get on Instagram because I just thought Instagram was more for the younger folks. And
Okay.
I don't know why I had that conception around Instagram. But for me, Facebook was actually very successful on Facebook. So and I was extremely comfortable because I had started Facebook a while ago. And it was just starting off the Kurta Lady page there and growing my audience from there. But then once I had some content and purpose on that page, I started putting in a lot of effort. And I saw the local
Yeah.
folks started following me, and that's how the following slowly grew. It was not like overnight I had a few followers and grow from 100 to 1,000. It's still at like about I believe 7,500 or 8,000 people on Facebook. And even till date, a lot of
Right.
conversions happen actually via Facebook more than Instagram for
Okay.
me. But then
But now you have more followers on Instagram, right?
yes, I do. Yeah. But then I realized that I need to experiment and get on to Instagram as well. So initially, I was very afraid to post anything on there. It
Hmm.
was basically just kurtas on mannequins. And I would just write a brief write up on the product itself and have people DM me for inquiries or prices or whatever. And that's how it all started on
Interesting.
Instagram. And just my immediate friends, family started following me.
You mentioned your personality, right?
Mhm.
You are shy, introvert, but were you always active on Facebook, posting your personal pictures or stories online before you started this Kurta Lady page? Was there any kind of you didn't want to put yourself out there kind of situation, but you still wanted to do the business?
Right, of course, the personal page was mostly devoted to family pictures and kids' pictures. So that was very comfortable. But when it came to just it being only me or only about me and me wearing something,
Mm.
it was still a very difficult proposition. But for Facebook, I had already started on Facebook on a personal front. So it was easier
Mm.
that way. But Insta was the more challenging part for me.
Yeah. And Insta, you started with posting mannequins
Yeah,
and not yourself.
yeah,
But on Facebook, you were already posting your own pictures,
yeah, yeah,
like as a Kurta lady.
yeah.
So why was that? Now that you were already comfortable, at least on Facebook,
Hmm.
and you had those good pictures, right? You don't have to recreate new
Right.
pictures, but you did recreate new pictures just because Instagram is a new platform. And
Yeah.
so, how did that
Intimidating.
happen?
It was just intimidating for me. I don't know why, but Insta always felt I was overwhelmed. I was looking at other people's pictures and videos, and I was like, I can know and come nowhere close to any of this. So for me, I was just hiding behind that mannequin. So I was like, I'll just post the product picture. Don't need to see me. So that was the whole thing behind starting off on Insta. I was just afraid.
And how did you slowly get comfortable? And now you post your own pictures or
Yeah, I
videos.
post my own pictures, my reels. My friends are shocked. My friends who I grew up with, they still
Hmm.
cannot wrap their head around me being the face of Kurta Lady. They still, even recently when I went to Bangalore, my friend goes, every time I see you, I just don't know what to type and tell you because I can't believe it is you. So that's how far I have come as a person. Even I can't believe sometimes the stuff I do and did I really pull this off? But I think it was gradual, Jay. Like I said, Kurta Lady was a side hustle. I had started it on the side and I was experimenting with a small batch. And while I was doing all that, I had started TV Asia and I was anchoring, I was in front of the camera. And I think all of that helped me get over my fear as well. Not just being shy and introvert, but just being overwhelmed with Instagram as a platform. I think all of those experiences helped me get out of it.
Yeah, so for me, usually, right? For me, like you've seen my page, I am a faceless page for now, and that's my same
Mm-hmm.
problem too. And I wasn't active on any social media platform until like very recently when I just decided to start this.
Mm-hmm.
And usually my hesitation comes from not the strangers. There are friends who don't know that I am doing this. And
Yeah.
for me, it's the opposite. Like I don't want my friends and family to
To
see.
know you.
That's the
Oh,
first thing.
okay. Yeah, that has
Yeah, that's
always been on the back of my mind too. It's not just what strangers are thinking about me. It's about maybe my aunt is seeing this page or maybe my
right.
cousin is looking at me and I'm like, oh my God, what will they be thinking about me? And it has taken me a long time, honestly, maybe the last 3, 4 years to say what people will keep talking, people will say what they have to say. You do what you have to do. If you think it
Right.
is okay,
Yeah.
if you're conscious and you think it is okay, it's okay. So that's how it's still hard, but that's how I have calmed myself and I
Yeah.
present myself that way now.
So that's been your journey. You get comfortable, but at some point you're like the mannequin goes away and you come into the picture now because
Right.
it's fine. You have to do what you have to do.
Yeah.
So I know you mentioned Facebook growth was organic,
Mhm.
right? And you have 7,500 likes or
Yeah.
followers on the page.
Yeah.
But Instagram, you have many more, right? I think right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. About 20,000 and
Was
change.
Yeah, was there like a viral moment on Instagram or was that gradual?
Initially, like anybody else, I struggled with growing the follower count. And you're tempted to do all those buy the followers or do these giveaways. So you fall into those traps, even I did. And I regret doing that because I realized the kind of people you want you to follow are the kind of customers or the kind of base you want to build for your business. And then I gave up on all of that. I'll grow organically. It's fine. It might take me a long time. So I got rid of a lot of followers. I was just focusing on building my brand. And I think last year, Stories of South Asians, this is another page on Instagram. She
Yes,
contacted
yes.
me and she wanted to do a story on me. So it was such a casual conversation. I never took anything seriously. She asked me to send a bunch of pictures and stuff, I and videos. I did whatever I could. And that post actually catapulted, or I would say, make my name and brand go viral. And overnight, like within 2, 3 weeks, or maybe a month, I got 4,000 to 5,000 new followers, just thanks to that one
Awesome.
particular reel. So I was at 16,000 followers. I was very happy with that. Then all of a sudden, that reel happened, and I just realized the power of storytelling, the way she put
Hmm.
my story out there. And oh my God, the amount of DMs I got with people telling me the kind of stories and just drawing parallel from my life story itself. That was
Right.
overwhelming. And that was, I think, a turning point for me and for the brand itself.
Yeah. Even 16,000 followers, right? You said you reached there organically. How long did it take for you?
5 years, 4 years, something like that.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Do you think anything helped in your journey, even organically, 16,000? Any kind of content?
Strategy that was very simple. Yeah, I was like, I'm going to be me. So let me involve my audience in my life story itself, my day to day, my struggles, and then somehow spin the small business journey. So I took my followers through my TV Asia days, through my being a teacher, being a journalist, being an anchor behind the scenes, struggling with trying to make it on time to the bus stops and picking up my
Hmm.
kids, to driving them to soccer practice or swim, and then running back home to attend to a customer who wanted a kurta ASAP, to shipping and delivery during Diwali time when people order last minute and expect their kurta to be delivered the next day. I've taken them behind every struggle, every journey of mine, and now probably everybody knows what it is to run a small business, like being a one woman show. So,
You were actively sharing all these things,
right.
was it? Like
Yeah,
you
on
were actively
stories.
sharing
Yeah, yeah. If you see my stories, it's all about my day to day affairs, from
everything.
what I eat and drink to it's not that boring from but it's trying to tell them it's just not dressing up and looking good in a kurta. There is so much more that goes on behind the scenes. So I take
Okay, so
them.
you are being vulnerable out there and
Correct.
sharing
Correct.
your.
Correct. Sharing my
That's
stuff. And
exactly.
that's how I think it all grew. I would see people like they see ladies following me, and I would reach out to each one initially, at least I had the time. I would reach out to them and ask them why did they follow me? What inspired them
Hmm.
to hit that follow
Oh,
button?
interesting.
And I would just thank them and everything. I was very personal. I would reach out to everybody. Now, of course, it's a little difficult for me to do all of that, but I still am
Right.
like, I still try my best to engage with each and everybody who interacts with my content.
But that's a very interesting approach. That's what connects with people, like
Yeah.
people on the sidelines who are watching and who want to do something that you are. What else did you have to do for your business that you wouldn't have done otherwise? So social media was one, right?
Mhm.
Where you're getting out of your comfort zone and posting there.
Right.
What are some other things you have done for your business?
A lot of things from, okay, putting myself out there, not just on social media, having people over, like random strangers walking into my
Hmm.
house, making those connections to sell a piece of garment. And also, I've done various stalls in winter weather. I've literally frozen my toes and going to random places in Surat all by myself to meet these vendors and putting myself out there without thinking twice, as in, will I be safe? Will I really be successful? But just experimenting. I don't know where I got the courage to do all of that. So,
So a lot of people sell just through social media, right?
mhm.
When did you decide to create your website? And did you try any other channels to sell?
So initially I was selling on Amazon, Jay. Or I think website and Amazon happened together. When the collection grew out of the 8 to 10 designs and I had more
Hmm.
to offer, it was becoming difficult to put them all out on one Facebook page or have it as and sending out DMs and stuff like that. So The website came about that way, and I started selling on Amazon because I just felt what better than Amazon to grow the brand name, at least for people to get to know Kurta Lady. And Amazon did help
Hmm.
me a lot, actually, in the sense I didn't make any money. I lost a lot of money selling on Amazon, but
Okay.
the Kurta Lady name grew because a lot of
Okay.
organic traffic came from Amazon straight to my website, and a lot of conversions happen that way. But on selling on Amazon itself is not for small businesses, at least not so small as a person for me, because you need a lot of money and you need to invest a lot more into the inventory, because Amazon wants you to stock huge inventory, and I don't
Okay.
believe in keeping a lot with me because I want
Hmm.
to turn it around and bring in fresh inventory. So I gambled and I did Amazon for a year, but it didn't work out for me.
That's interesting, the Amazon journey where
Yeah.
you lost money but gained your followers and
Right.
built the brand.
Right.
I know you're still building,
Hmm.
and but you have five-star reviews on Google, and it's
Hmm.
close to what, 150, 200 reviews, which are all five-star reviews,
Yeah.
which is like very that's rare to me.
Yeah.
I and everyone has nice things to say. What do you think is the secret to that?
I speak to all my customers, Jay. It's each and every one of them knows me personally. Whoever has shopped with me, of course, the online ones, maybe I might not have that personal connection. But people who walk into the store and buy from me, which is actually a huge chunk of my client, the NJ, local NJ, Philly, New York area clients who come to me on a regular basis. These are the women who have written five-star reviews for me because they know how I treat them and the customer service they get from my end. It's not okay, they have a small alteration to make. I will help them with that. I may not be able to stitch it for them, but I know I've tied up with people around here. So I'll help them with that. They have an event to go to. They have no clue what they should be wearing. I've helped them style the entire outfit head to toe. They have a budget that they need to stick under. And I have helped them come within that budget itself. So many things. It's like I have drawn some kind of a personal connection with each and every one of them. And so that's why they come back to me again and again. And that's why you see those Google reviews.
And what parts of the business do you enjoy the most? Because you're running the show by yourself,
Yeah.
and there are many things to do, right?
I think customer interaction is my favorite part when I have to help a customer. Like if they come to
Okay.
me clueless, as in what should I wear to this occasion, helping them design an outfit, mixing, matching, putting the jewelry together for them, and doing the whole 9 yards. That's something that makes me more excited and makes me happy that to bring that smile on their face that, like, wow, I didn't think of this and she could put this together so easily. So that is probably
Okay,
my favorite part, that face to face with the customer.
that's actually pretty interesting. What customer insights have you gained so far? You gained.
Like figure flattering outfits or figure flattering styles. So initially, I used to get in a lot of different types of anarkalis, for example, and they never worked for me. I didn't realize why, because I would wear them
Hmm.
and I would like the way it fit and felt and etc. And I realized a lot of people don't like to look fat. They don't like to look bulky. Anarkali makes them look bulky. It's only meant for a certain kind of people. So I've learned the styles that I still do bring anarkali. It's just that I don't bring it in bigger sizes, for example. So I'll
Okay.
bring it for the smaller folks, the small to medium, maybe large. But so things like that. What is it that people are comfortable wearing in terms of necklines? And a lot of women don't like sleeveless here. I didn't know that either. I was surprised that they don't like to wear sleeveless. And I also have a sense of fabric because living here in the States, I know what fabrics work for us and what fabric won't.
Hmm.
For example, I don't want any fabric that needs to be dry cleaned because dry cleaning here is more
It's
expensive
expensive.
than
Yeah,
buying the actual outfit. So things like that. I've also grown with the customers in terms of designs and styles.
definitely. And who is your typical customer over here? Like age range or their
They
profile.
Most of my customers are in the biggest clientele, the late 30s to early 40s. These are women who have probably lived most of their lives, like their first 20, 25 years in India. They've gotten married and come here. They still like to wear Indian kurtas for all special occasions. And even at home, for example, if they're working from home, they like to wear a kurta and work from home. These are the kind of women that come shop with me. That's like my majority clientele. And then the second would be your 55 to 65-year-olds who have now said bye to India for good. They don't go back to India much because they came here 30, 40
Hmm.
years ago and their children are here, their grandchildren are here. So they have no reason to go back to India and they come shop with me for pretty much everything from going to
Okay.
Gurudwara to temple to kitty parties. They need an outfit. So that's my second largest clientele age group. I had my entire collection was short kurtis and casual wear long kurtas because short kurtis is something that I wanted to address the Western population as well. If they want to wear something Indian, now there is a huge chunk in NJ where the spouse would have gotten married to an American, for example, and then the girl wants to wear something Indian, but she doesn't want to wear something really elaborate. So I wanted to have something for my Western audiences as well. And there are a lot of people who travel to India, for example. Recently, I had this girl shop with me. She's traveling to India with a group of other girls. They're Caucasians who are
Okay.
going as a group to India to travel. And they wanted short kurtis and comfortable cotton kurtas because they're like, we're going to India, we want to dress
Right.
comfortably and like them. So they bought a bunch. So I have always tried to get a little bit of Western influence into the outfits only so that I can address that audience as well.
How do you design for diversity, right? India being India, so diverse, and I'm sure your clientele, you get people from all kinds of
Right.
states back in India.
So initially, I did not really focus on the diversity part of it. Initially, it was more driven with the fact that Indian women like cotton kurtas, they like comfortable, soft fabric, and trendy designs that can be worn over jeans. Like it has to be very trendy, wherein even if I wear the kurta out here with jeans in the US, it'll still be something that people are not going to turn around and look at me twice. I'm still comfortable wearing that. So my focus was short kurtas and the knee length kurtas that could be worn on jeans. But eventually I diversified into okay, let's get some chicken kari kurtis in because those are classic and they are timeless kurtis. Let's
Hmm.
get some block prints and let's do bandhani. So in the summer months, I experiment with all these different designs and fabrics and I try to address everyone's needs.
What has been your largest investment so far?
I think it's the inventory, right? It's the I have to when I get the inventory in, I have to pay these guys in full upfront. So especially when it comes to festive collection, those are expensive stuff. Of course, the website. So I learned it and I did it on my own, but then eventually I realized it's a developer's job and I had to invest some money into that and get it all redone the right way. So those were my bigger.
And how much was the initial investment, with the website and the inventory and all of that?
I would say between $5,000 to $6,000 on the website, and inventory has been huge. It's inventory is probably my biggest investment. From the time I've started, I've probably spent over 200 to $50,000.
Oh, wow. Okay. But what amount were you comfortable putting in initially when you
Initially,
were
it was
going all in?
smaller purchases, right? It was like, say, $3,000, $4,000. It was smaller collections too. And that's how it always was. I would every 3 to 4 months turn it around and then buy another $3,000, $4,000 worth of inventory. So that's how it all began. And it was never more
Okay.
than $5,000. I remember that very clearly because I couldn't afford anything more than that.
And how much inventory do you hold at any point?
Usually that around 1,000 pieces though I will definitely have at any given point in time because of the casual wear collection. I have a huge range of casual wear collection which is my bread and butter, the
Hmm.
20 $25 kurtas that I stock a lot. But during festive time, those the festive collection comes in and then the inventory goes up. It can range from anywhere to stocking 1,500 to 2,000 pieces at any given point in time.
Overall, what percentage of your business is from, let's say, social media
Mhm.
versus directly your website versus walk-ins?
Right now, it's a good mix. The walk in is actually now that people know their sizes and they are comfortable that the quality is going to be good, right? I used to get people walking in from Philly. They would drive an hour away because instead of driving all the way to Edison, I come before Edison. So they would come all the way to me and shop and go. So now they're aware, okay, this is my size and we know the quality is good. So they have started ordering online. Even local NJ clientele, anyone who lives 30 minutes from me just orders online now. I would say maybe 40% online, about 40% would be social media, and the rest is still some walk-ins. The older generation, they still
Right,
prefer to come
right.
and try it and then buy and go.
And very curious about your shipping, right? Your products come from India.
Correct.
How did you figure out that whole operations? Because shipping anything from India is expensive, right? And your price point is very decent, right?
Mhm.
20 $25. So how did you manage that? How did you get efficient there?
Yeah, when you get huge shipments, they work out cheaper than getting smaller consignments. So that's why I try to get my shipments every 3 to 4 months. So that way I'm like putting together a lot more than a smaller batch. If I do small batches, it is always very expensive to get them shipped. But if you ship bigger batches, they give you a better price. And also Bombay and Surat, from where, and even Delhi, from where the stuff comes, we have tied up with courier partners.
Hmm.
They'll pick everything up from my vendor, and they pack everything up for me and they send it out. So I've partnered with these guys. But of course, shipping costs have gone up, no doubt about it. From the time I started to now, it's been significant. And that's why initially I could offer free shipping to customers over purchases of $25. I can't do that anymore. It has to be a
Hmm.
$50 or more order for me to offer free shipping. So now,
Stuff also it has
yeah,
gone up, right?
yeah,
Inflation, wars.
yeah, the shipping is killing me, really, honestly. But we're trying to work around it. And also, of course, I try to source the fabric, and the styles, the designs we work with are very simple. So when we source the fabric, we get wholesale fabrics, and then we get them stitched at a very competitive price. So I try to keep the product price also at a very affordable price point, the finished product, when it comes to me. But then it's the shipping has gone up, and it eats into our margins for sure. That's no doubt about it.
Right. And you mentioned your brother helped with the website and his
Mhm.
friends. Do you focus on who maintains it now? Do you maintain it and do you focus on website optimization? Because a lot of tech jobs and a lot of people in marketing and all that tech
Mhm.
are hundreds of thousands of dollars just for website optimization,
Yeah.
getting more people to buy from looking to buying, that kind of journey.
Mhm.
So there, who helps you with that, or do you focus on that yourself?
No, actually, we have a digital marketing team, and they help me with advertising. They help me with this SEO, the web optimization. So now I'm going to be spending some time sitting with them, and we're going to revamp the website. I have to do that. I've thrown it to the back burner for a long time.
And how did you find this team, like the
So this
folks?
is through my brother and his friends. He introduced me to this team, and they're pretty good. And at least the good part is getting it done from India. It works out for me. It's not as expensive as getting it done here locally. It's reasonable. And yeah,
There.
it depends, Jay. It's on the work that I ask them to do. So if it's just pure advertising and just promotions and stuff like that, which they have helped me in the past, it can be anywhere from $500 to $1,000 per month, just their fees. Now that I'm going
Okay.
to throw in website optimization to them and actually redevelop a few things, it depends on, I have to sit with them and chat. It depends on what I come up with, but they have given me a budget of a few lakhs for now. It could be between 3 to 5 lakhs, is what they said, based on what I have in mind. But again, I have to sit down and figure out what are my pain points on the website, and what is it that I want to improve. And
So initially you had mentioned that you were getting burnt out managing both that TV job
Mhm.
and the Kurta Lady business. And that's why you decided to go all in.
Yeah,
So how many hours do you work now in a typical day or week?
I work with a lot of breaks because it just happens that way. I start my work at 7:30 in the morning. I'll just address
Okay.
quickly all the emails that would have come overnight, and then any WhatsApp
Mhm.
messages with communication from team in India. I'll get to those. And then it's the morning struggles of getting the boys out the door, packing their lunch and getting them off. And then I again start around 8:39. And then it can go on till usually till 3:30. It's an uninterrupted work cycle. Once kids are off back, again I'm like doing back and forth, either driving them to extracurricular activities. And then again from 6:37 till 10 in the night.
So easily 10, 12
Yeah,
hours, 10 hours.
yeah, easily. And some days more, everybody's asleep. I'll just sit up and just finish if I had something that was pending for the day.
You say you're working more now compared to when you were burnt out.
Oh, yeah, definitely. But the only thing, the comfort being, I'm doing it from home. I'm doing it at my own pace. I follow my own schedule. So I'm not answerable to anybody. So those are the.
You do partnerships. Like you're an influencer now, right? Reaching that size of audience.
Mhm.
When did you start getting those sponsorships that you were paid for?
People started approaching when I had 4 5,000 followers. It was not like a lot of money initially, but you're happy with that because it's like an hour of your time and you made $100.
Okay. I know that you're a Bollywood fan,
Yeah.
right? Does that show up in your work?
Yeah, yeah, I guess hugely influenced by Bollywood, and I think all Desis are. I don't think
Yeah,
any Desi that can say I don't have the Bollywood fever. At some point,
yeah, yeah.
you have that craze. So I have always had that growing up, and I lived in Bombay, and so I've always been a huge Bollywood buff, and that's probably my go-to for trend following also to see what the celebs are wearing and what's in, what's out, and colors and styles. And so that also gives me an idea of what I should be planning ahead and what are people liking or wanting to wear. I like Alia's style. So I think her makeup and stuff I had tried to recreate. So a lot of celeb makeups is what influences the final look or how I want to style a look. Even the kurtas they wear, I follow them on their pages to see the kind of Indian wear they're wearing at the moment. And those help me figure out even colors and styles for my upcoming collection. So some of the spring wear that is coming out is influenced by what these girls wore in their latest movies.
So when you started off, right, did you go through moments of doubt, which is, why am I doing this, or is this worth it? And how frequently that happened?
In the beginning, it was almost every day. Even now,
Okay.
sometimes it's like when I look at the month like January go by, and I'm like, I have a goal in mind for every month. At least I set realistic goals. It's not, oh, I need to do $20,000, but some realistic goals, and I don't meet it, and I'm like, yeah, 9 to 5 job chhod diya. I should have just stuck to that. And you are assured of a paycheck at the end of the day. Here, it's you're
Hmm.
gambling with so many things, and but then I just go back and I reflect on the entire journey where I started to where I have come. And it
Hmm.
has taken me 4 5 years to get here. So obviously, if I put in this another 4 5 years into this, I'm sure I can go more ahead. So of course, there are these stages of doubt, which I guess everybody goes through, and I feel extremely lonely. And who do I talk to? Thing, but then I talk to myself and I get out of it as well.
So you just see progress you have made over,
Yeah, I reflect back
and
on my journey because that's the only way to see your progress over the months, over the years.
but did you ever feel like quitting? Let's just not do it anymore. Did it ever get
Oh
overwhelming?
yeah, oh yeah. Like maybe 2 3 years into it, and I was like, it is just too much for me. And there were days, there were actually weeks without sales, and I used to go into depression, and I would be like, what have I gotten myself into? I'm still not, I haven't invested that much time and energy yet. I can get out of it and let me just call it quits. Oh, yeah, I've gone through all of those. So,
And 2 3 years in, so that's quite some.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Again,
Yeah.
no.
Even now, some
And
days it's like end of December or like the first week of January. It was a bad phase for me too. My dad was going through some stuff, and I was like, why am I doing all of
okay,
this? Just call it quits and get going.
yeah, no, that's definitely tough, right? And especially when your family, you're seeing some things happening around, and
Yeah.
you have to do this as well. Because in a job, you could just take a leave and not care about the job.
Correct. Correct.
With so much experience under your belt, what kind of mindset do you need to have, or have you established to run this business?
See, the mindset that I have, or I have developed rather, is things will come and go, and there will be downs more than ups in the beginning, at least. And if you cannot have a strong heart and a strong will, then there is no way you can survive running a business, because people think running a business is easy and you just see this happy face selling whatever in front, but
Right.
you don't see what all goes on behind the scenes.
You, of course, go through a lot of downs. How do you deal with those downs? How did you pull yourself out of it?
See, I've always looked at the silver lining at the end of the day. It's for me, what I see is I started this alone with very little help. I have brought it to this stage. Going forward, I have a vision to build this brand and grow it further. And now I'm getting in people. I'm also going to start looking at hiring somebody, maybe part time, to start off with, to help me with the day to day stuff. And so that way, at least I can focus on other things. So now that I know this is work for me and this is growing, and of course, no baby grows from the day it's born to a 21-year-old just like that. It takes 21 years to become a 21-year-old.
Yeah.
Just like that, I'm like baby steps, but I will get there and take all my lessons, of course, all the failures first, because I have learned from that. And also, I reflect on the successes because that's what keeps me going.
What is like a good day for you, and what is like a bad day now that you have established yourself so much?
A good day would be like seeing great sales on the website. For me, I've always focused my energies on growing the website, although a lot of customers walk in and buy. For me, a good day on the site would be a good day overall to close with. A bad day is always no sales, but then I again look back at why did this day not work out for me, or what happened? What could I have done better? That's how I look at it now. But then bad days are tough to deal. Yeah.
Any big lessons for someone starting off?
I would say if you're sure you want to do this, do a business or start something new or whatever it may be, if you're really sure, then put in the time to research and put in that extra effort to study and understand things and understand your market, understand what you want to do or trying to do before you fully get into it. Because I have done the research and studies after. I just started it off on a whim and I was like, let's just see how this goes. I think it was more like an experiment. I wouldn't say go
Hmm.
that route because studying and helping yourself understand the market or understanding the business or whatever it is that you're trying to get into gave me a wider or a good insight into what I should be doing and what I should not be doing or how should I be even approaching something. A lot of people skip that part because it's boring or I don't know, just time consuming. But putting that time in research and understanding and studying your market is really key to being successful.
It's isn't it difficult to do that when you have no audience?
Actually, with just the limited audience, I did a lot of customer research and service. I sent it out to random people and reached out to a lot of my friends and said, have your friends do it. It was like these random polls, just trying to understand what is it that people are looking for Indian wear in the US. Is it quality? Is it price? Is it styles? What is it that they want? What is it that they're looking for? What will it make them hit that buy button? How can I make them buy something? So just understanding the psyche of the customer, and women, especially women buyers, are difficult and very actually very difficult to understand. So that's where my struggle comes from.
Right.
So yeah.
In what is like your confidence level now? Let's put it this way. What was it when you started, and what is it now on like a scale of 1 to 10, or any words you could put it in?
Confidence level back then was actually very high. I was like, I will sell. What's the problem? These designs are beautiful. The price point is great. So confidence level when I started off was extremely high. Actually, it came down as I
Okay.
realized I am not prepared for this journey 100%. Right now, I'd say I'm at like a 6 or a 7 in terms of confidence.
Last one. You weighed your options when you were in that TV anchoring job and now
Hmm.
the business. And you mentioned you were earning more back then with the job.
Hmm.
Have you surpassed that mark with your business?
Yeah, definitely. Otherwise, I would have already said goodbye to this business. No, I gave myself a year to surpass my income. And now I've given myself 5 years to make it 5 times that at least. Yeah.
Nice.
So those are the goals, like small goals, but achievable goals. But yeah,
Thank you so much for sharing, and good luck with your goals.
it's really nice talking and just makes me reflect. You don't really talk about all this every day.
I've learned a lot from this conversation with Swasti. Like starting small, taking that leap of faith, and giving yourself a chance. Putting yourself out on social media is tough for everyone, even the established influencers that you see today. The importance of research. Most businesses fail because they either don't understand their customer or they don't do enough research. And how you can service your customers, connect with them on a deeper level, and build that trust and customer service which will grow your business. What did you learn out of this conversation? Let me know. You can reach out to me on pod.thehustlers@gmail.com or on Instagram at thehustlerspod. I will link the handles in the description. Now stay tuned for my next episode. Until then, enjoy the clips I post on Instagram and YouTube. Thank you and take care.